Hey, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is RZ. In today's video, you're going to learn on how you can start doing simple chart patterns so you can look for simple breakouts in any financial market. It can be stocks, it can be crypto, it can be any type of currency, and all you got to do is just find this one simple pattern on a chart so you can go for that breakouts, but there's something else behind it. So stay tuned to the rest of this video and hope you get something out of it. So to get started, what we want to see is when the market is in some sort of uptrend, because again, this is very important. When the market is in some sort of uptrend and it just gives you one-sided directions, that is what you want to go ahead and continue with, is find that one side move and how can you continue with the momentum. So the key here is one, find a one-sided direction. And two is continue with the momentum, apply the pattern I'm going to show you today, and then trade the breakouts profit. Okay, so this is what it is and how anyone can start using this simple system so they can start looking for a nice pattern, trade, breakout, and profits so you can start making money on these markets. So the thing here is that when it comes down to a one-sided direction, it can be an upside, it can be a downside, meaning that the market can go into an uptrend and that's what you want to continue with, or the market can go into some sort of downtrend and that's what you want to continue with as well. So now the next step is continue with the momentum. And what I mean by momentum is you want to find big impulse moves within that uptrend or that downtrend so you can start getting a small piece of that move. You don't have to get the whole piece, you can just get a small piece of that the uptrend. And so now the next, when you see an impulse move, you want to see a price consolidate just like this. Let it create a range, which is a zigzag type of structure, meaning that you want to see some sort of consolidation, right? And after that, you can draw simple breakout patterns or just simple trend lines that creates either a Dorito chip pattern, meaning that it can look something like this, or it can look like a wedge when price does something like this and then breaks out. That's another one. Or you can just look for something as in simple like this, and then you can trade for that breakout as well. So that's what I mean by patterns, and I'll show you on an actual chart on how you can do that as well. But again, you want to follow within these steps. This is one, right, as in what we just talked about here. Two is you want to continue with the momentum, and now three, right, it's what you just saw on the left hand side, which is this, this, and this. And now from there, I'm going to show you on how to look for that breakout and what can you do as in a strategy that you can go behind, not strategy, but a rule behind that breakout, okay? And I'll show you on an actual chart, and then you can start making profits. It can be $100, it can be $500, it can be $1,000. Because what I've had here is one of my members, they traded this simple system or this simple model, and they just made thousands of dollars just by using this one simple system. And I'm showing you here for free in this video. So let's go into an actual chart and just see on how you can do that as well. So let's just clear that up and let's go into something that gives you some sort of volatile move. Let's say that let's do actually US30, right? So US30, let's just go into, I mean, we could just say 1 minute time frame. And again, it doesn't really matter the time frame that you're on, because everything here is just what we're working with within candlesticks. So let's just go back and let's just see, how can we find that simple system. So let me just grab a drink. So we just hit the replay button. I don't know where we're at in the market, but what I do know is that all I'm gonna do here is try to find that breakout pattern and try to continue with the overall move, which is the one-sided direction. So let's just see. Okay, so what we have here is, let's just zoom out just a bit. I mean, from left to right, I mean, you can start seeing that we had some sort of U shape, meaning that the price came down, came up, and now it's just ranging, right? And that's all I know. And so, and again, this is just a 1 minute time frame. So what I want to work here with is that from the left to right, because again, that's on how you want to look at the market, is the left to right. And after that left to right, you want to see as in what is currently going on in here, because that is just what's the most important thing here is what's happening present or what's happening now. So what's happening now is that if I just zoom in here, and if I just go off of, again, break of a structure and, higher high and higher low, in this case, you had a impulse move that it had, and then a rally to the downside. So in this case, you had a big buy, and now from there, sellers took this down again. And then from there, buyers took this right back up. So they're pretty much just playing like a whole tug of war, or they're just pretty much, let's just say they're going to war back and forth as in who can be dominant, who can see, can win this battle. Is it buyers or is it sellers? Who is it, right? So in this case, you have a break of a structure. And now, since that's what we have, this shows me that more likely than not, we're trying to find a way to go to the upside. But right now, it's too early because, again, we really don't want to be part of this 50-50 move because it can still go right back down. So what we're going to do here is let it create a trend to the upside, or maybe it wants to consolidate and we see something here so it can create a pattern so we can go long. But all in all, we're just waiting and just seeing what we can get. So let's actually clear that up and let's just move forward. So let's just see. Okay, it's pulling back. So again, we want to see a one-sided move. We want to see this continue going up. And if it does, perfect. If not, it is what it is. So let's just see what happens. Okay, cool. It looks like it wants to shoot right back up. And again, this is just where you had that break of a structure. Price is holding above. Price pulled back. And then now it's trying to do this again. So what we're going to do here is now we're going to zoom in because it showed me that price wants to make a new high, which is already did, right? I think it did. Yeah, right here. And so in that case, price has already made an impulse move right here. So based off that impulse move, you have a high and a low and an impulse move right there. So in this case, if I drew a pattern here, and if I was, looking at the market, let's just say, for example, here, I would have already entered a pattern right there, and I've already, traded the break above that the area, stop loss down here, and that would have been a nice, winning trade. So in this case, I want to see as in how can I replicate this somewhere in here and just try to trade the same exact thing. So let's just see what happens, and let's just see if we can get a nice consolidation and a nice breakout trade. So let's just see. Okay, right here. So in this case, you already have what, an impulse move, a pullback, and now it's creating some sort of pattern like this. So in this case, what I can do here is I can trade the break above this green candle because, again, all I'm doing here is just drawing simple trend lines, and the way they draw these trend lines is right here. And I also have a video posted on how you can use TradingView in the YouTube channel, and that link will be published in the description so you can learn more about on how you can use TradingView. So in this case, what we're trying to do here is we're using trend lines, we're trying to find a break, and we're trying to get a nice pattern in. And again, we found it here, and now we're trying to break above, right? Because again, we want to continue with the move to the upside. So we want to do something like this. We want to see the upper move. And let's just see what happens. And if price does break above here, then we're tagged in. Stop loss would be down here, of course. And so let's just see what happens. Again, everything here is just 50-50. We really don't know what can happen, right? So let's just see what happens. Nothing, nothing. So what we're going to do here is delete all this, and we're going to try to find a nice pattern again, and we're just kind of, let it do what it has to do and let it consolidate. So let's see what happens. Okay, cool. So now, based off this impulse pullback, okay, cool. I mean, we can add this wick to this wick, and now we can say that price is, doing something like this right now. So all we're doing here is just grabbing the wicks and the wicks and the wicks that's currently, creating support resistance. And so at this red line here, all I'm doing here is just where it's matching. Where is that current price, currently holding at? And so if we just draw a rectangle just like this and we extend it to the right, I can say on US 30, it's holding 38,292.04 levels, and it's just been holding that area. So now it's like, I want price to hold above here for this to give me a nice breakout. So I already have my resistance, which is this wick and this wick, and I'm gonna continue doing something like this so we can look for that breakout again. So let's just see what we get. Okay, right there. I would already enter off that break of a resistance, and I'm already gonna enter stop loss down here, and let's just see what happens. So let's just extend that to the right. So we're still holding that area. So there you go, a nice winning trade just based off using this break and retest and also a simple pattern, and we're just trying to continue with the momentum, and that's all we're doing. We're trying to flow wherever the money's flowing to, and that's what we want to do. Flow with the wave, because when you flow with the wave, you're going to start seeing patterns like this present itself, and you can trade those patterns just to get for a simple break. Anybody can do this. A beginner brand new to this, they can do this as well. I have students in the past, all they did here, have a system of a simple trend line pattern, try to find the momentum, trying to find, who's in control, buyers or sellers. If buyers is just based off this pattern or this chart here, then I'm going to add patterns for me to bet on the market to go to the upside, because the way that you can make money on these charts is by betting it to go up or to go down. That's on how you can make money. So let's try to find another one and just see if we can get another +1 trade, meaning that a nice winning trade within that day or within the next day. So again, all this right here is just for us to continue going up, and that's all we're doing. We're building the ladder, we're building the steps, the stairway to the light, right? So let's just see what we can get. Okay, sold off again, tapped into that area again, which is 38 to 9.283. And you can see that many times price has been holding that area. And again, we expect some sort of run up. If price decides to run up like this and do something like this, I'm going to add a pattern like that and then trade the breakout. That's it. That's all I got to do. There's nothing, magic here. All we got to do is just flow with money. That's it. So let's see what happens. So there you go. Look at this. It held that area. Now it's running right back up. And now what I can do here is I can add simple trend line like this. And there you go. You could just see I'm playing just pretty much just with trend lines, finding the areas that has support and resistance, and I'm trying to flow with the upside. And let's just see if we get a nice breakout above here. If so, that would be great. And if not, if we get stopped out, it is what it is. So let's just see what happens. Nothing, right? And so if you see something like this, then it didn't break above, and we're just going to continue on doing it. So now if it pulls back, then I can move my trend line like that and just wait for that breakout. That's it. So let's see what happens. Nothing. And so we really want price to, move more above. So what I'm going to do here is that if price continues to go up, I want to go above here, because this right here was pretty much a fake out, and I want price to break above this fake out candlestick so we can start going up. And our stop loss will be under this wick, and we're trying to go long again. So let's see what happens. So there you go. Price is now crossing above. Go to the upside. There you go. A -1 on that move. And so now we took a +1. Now we took a -1. And now in this case, since price looks like it wants to just become choppy, I'm not going to look at it anymore. I'm just going to wait until it shows me something presentable, meaning that an A1 setup. So we're going to wait. And let's just hit the play button, and let's just see if we can catch another one. Just let it play, and we're just trying to find another pattern to the upside. So on this one, since you already see that price is just, it went up, now selling off. And so now since it's selling off, there's nothing for me to look at, because again, if I zoom out from left to right, it still shows you that more likely than not, it still wants to continue going up. And so in this case, I want price to do something like this. Run up, consolidate, run up, consolidate, and run up again. And let's continue, and let's just see what we can get if we can get something like that. So we want to see a recreation of a rally up to the upside. And so now in this case, look at this, it gapped up. And so now when you see gaps ups like that, it's either price can come right back down and fill in that open area and then bounce, or price can now break above into this high, which is again a resistance, because now we found a resistance and also a support where price can now break above or come back down into retest. So let's just see if price breaks above that trend line, that red one, we're going to enter. So look at this, it broke above. And so now within that break above, I'm going to enter at that breakout. And remember, this is something similar as in what we just talked in the beginning of this video, which is when you see price range, you can wait for price to break above, and you can already enter at the break above that area, and now you can go long. And so in this case, I would say that my stop loss can be somewhere down here. I'm trading the breakout, and I'm going to look for a long position, because it shows me that from left to right, it gapped up, money's coming in, price is consolidating, and now it's trying to, run up again. The amount of points that went from here to here is what I expected to do as well right here. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do. And if that wants to do that, then perfect. I'm going to make that the same size, and that's going to be quite a few points. So let's just see what happens. Perfect, perfect. Look at that whole run up. And now think about that. If you apply just this simple pattern and just try to continue with this whole momentum move, then you're going to start seeing that you're going to start finding A1 setups, and this is going to be an easy and breeze type of trade that you can start using, and also a model that you can start applying into your charts. And all we're doing here is applying the system that I just spoke about earlier in this morning. So remember, that's all you need for you to start using and applying onto the stocks, Forex. It can be crypto. It doesn't really matter because it can be applied in any single financial market. So I hope you enjoyed this video, because I just gave you a basic killer system that you can start using, and what my students have been using, and started making crazy amount of profits just using that one simple system. So if you like this video, make sure to smash that like button, also subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next video.